The clarity helps you to know yourself and to get to know yourself and to start to own certain aspects of yourself, your core values. Find your purpose and your mission in life and what you are brought here on earth to do. Don't hide behind certain things that you think people want you to say and do. This is what I do, and you don't hide it. You put it out there with confidence, with passion, with purpose. Welcome, folks, to the first episode of Be Your Brand. A long time coming, years in the making for those of you who have been following over the past couple of years as I've been talking about this brand and actually executing and delivering a service for my clients under this brand. I just wanted to give you a framework for some of these episodes that you're going to hear. So I've been recording for the past couple of years and had some amazing guests that I'm going to feature and have been putting it out there from time to time as teasers, probably release 6 episodes out of close to 14, 15, maybe 16 episodes that are already recorded. And what I want to do is let you know the framework for some of these early episodes that some of you may have already heard, but I wanted to share how it's changing and has evolved. I've recorded newer episodes under Be Your Brand recently, and I didn't follow this framework. So what you're going to hear is a bit of a test and, me figuring out along the way, as many of us, I want to express how important that is to be able to test and play and tweak and modify along the way, because we're not perfect, right? We're all human and we're all on this journey together, and you're on your own journey, and it's okay. I want to give us permission, give you permission, give myself permission to make mistakes and to figure things out and to do it in real time so that other people can be inspired by that and know that you don't have to wait to be perfect. So just hit record, as Sean Cannell from Think Media often says, and that's what I've been doing over the past couple of years, and finally getting to launch this with you officially. So these episodes, you'll hear some segments. First one is clarity, and that is something that I've been playing around with and now have finally just committed fully to clarity as the mission for Be Your Brand. Not just clarity within myself and my messages, but clarity for you. How can we step into those tool sets? How can we begin to create clarity for ourselves? Because that's where it all starts. You start a business, you have clarity on the problem you solve. You start a ministry, you have clarity on who you want to help, the type of people that you want to serve. You start or write a book, you want clarity. Like, what's the topic of the book? What's the table of contents? What is the end, the story? What is the whole point of the story in the book? So we sometimes in this creator economy, we don't have clarity. We start without clarity and we say, we'll figure it out along the way. I've worked with many, many, many people, folks, and I don't recommend that if you're going to start your personal brand. Learn from my mistakes. I had some clarity, but along the way, had a lot of people asking me what I did for a living and what did I do as a service? What products did I have? And that's when I knew I needed to figure this out and then eventually bring those solutions to you. So the early episodes, I start off with a structure that talks about why is personal branding important, and then another section, the second segment of the show in these early episodes, is how did you build your brand? So you realized it was important. So what was some of the first steps? And then who was one of the bigger influences in your life? So I asked them if there's other personal brands. Upcoming episode with Kevin Harrington, who is the first episode, the original shark from Shark Tank, and the creator of the infomercial. He shares a bunch of mentors like Zig Ziglar. At that time, there was no such thing as personal branding. And he mentions a bunch of people like Zig and others. So you'll hear that in the early episodes. And then also I ask him and dozens of guests, what can you teach the audience? Do you have a framework for your product or your service or how you help people or your book or whatever it is? Can you teach us something? Which is great. I love that segment. And then basically, what is the mission and purpose in your life? And in one word, how do you help people? That's carried over from Entrepreneur Circle, which, by the way, is still in the rotation. Entrepreneur Circle, not going anywhere. You will hear a lot of Be Your Brand, but then you're also going to hear a lot of Entrepreneur Circle episodes sprinkled within, all under the now Erik Cabral brand, the Erik Cabral Show. basically. And I just wanted to be able to put it all in one place and keep the content very easy and accessible for you so that you're not looking for different places. I got this advice from someone I look up to, Jason Pfeiffer, who is the chief editor of Entrepreneur. And he told me specifically to keep it all under one umbrella, and I will follow his advice. And you will start to receive episodes of Be Your Brand here under Entrepreneur Circle, aka the Erik Cabral Show. So I'm really excited about that. Some of the other things I wanted to share as well is where the show started to go, and that the main tenets, some of the pillars of Be Your Brand is, as I mentioned earlier, clarity. Clarity first and foremost, number one. And number two, how do you deliver on a promise? Like, what is it that you do, and how do you help people? And again, what is the promise statement? What is the mission statement? What is the elevator pitch, so to speak? And we go over that a lot in these episodes. But some of the behind the scenes structure, and what I always try to teach my clients, is to have pillars of content or core values. And I wanted to share 5 tenets from Be Your Brand so that you begin to understand what we're going to be covering and how important these things are as we start to unpack these categories. So number one, know yourself. That's huge. The clarity helps you to know yourself and to get to know yourself and to start to own certain aspects of yourself, your core values. So that's number one. Number two is speak your truth. Like, don't hide behind certain things that you think people want you to say and do. I want people to be themselves. That's what I'm always pushing, not just myself to be, my children to be, but also the clients that I help and serve. So don't hide behind a certain viewpoint because you think it's popular, but speak what you truly believe in, because over the long haul, that will hurt. It will eat you up inside if you are representing yourself in an authentic way. So that's number two, speak your truth. Number three is listen with genuine curiosity. How many people who you've spoken to at a barbecue or a friend that you haven't seen in a while, and all they're doing is looking through you so that they're thinking about what they're going to say next, or they want to one-up your story. And I've strived to become a great podcaster. And one of the muscles that I've exercised over time, even before I had a podcast, which I recognized was a quick way, this superpower is a quick way to build and form relationships. And that is to become a great listener, to just listen. Honestly, it probably came from my single days when I was dating and I wanted women to, have a second date, third date with me. I just learned to listen, and I read a book back in the day when I was in my 20s, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And it basically boiled down to just be a good listener. She doesn't need your advice. She doesn't need you to fix things. Just listen. And I think that was a muscle that I exercised for decades before having a podcast. But I highly recommend us to be very conscious of, I am going to listen to every single word. I'm going to be here and I'm going to be present intentionally, not just with this person that's in front of me in a podcast or this potential client or a client, or it's really every aspect of life, your kids, your wife and spouse, your best friend. If you can be fully present, man, that's all we need as humans. We just want to be valued and heard. And who better to do that than you if you want to grow individually and as a person and as a human being, and also just to be there for whoever needs in your fullest and best way possible. So that is the third, listen with genuine curiosity. Number 4 out of 5 is love and live in service. Now, this is something that I have been doing for a long time before I found my faith and my love for God and my love for Jesus. I was coined by Claude Silver, the chief heart officer of VaynerMedia, probably in 2019. And if you're listening to this now, yeah, it's 2024 currently. But she called me a heart-centered entrepreneur. Now, nobody had ever called me that before. I never even heard the term. But to be bequeathed, to be knighted by the chief heart officer of VaynerMedia that I am a heart-centered entrepreneur, that had a lot of weight to me and still does to this day. And then eventually I found my faith and found that my main mission was to continue to spread love and the word of gospel, basically, which is love. There's a lot of, in the Old Testament, there's a lot of fear baked into it as well, but I'm talking more New Testament stuff, which is the best to me, Jesus' life. And I want you to know yours. I want you to know, what are you living in service for and what's your mission? Because that's where it's all leading. And that segues right and nicely to the fifth tenet of Be Your Brand, which is find your purpose. Find your purpose and your mission in life and what you are brought here on earth to do. I know it's not easy. I would take a risk here in saying that 99.9999% of people on this planet don't have a purpose or don't know what their purpose is. I'm one of the blessed 0.00001% to know my purpose in life, which I just shared with you. Is to continue to spread love. And I do that through my work, through my words, through my actions with my children, through my everything. And I hope that you can find that for yourself as well. And you just shout it from the mountaintops. Well, this is my purpose. This is what I do. And you don't hide it. You put it out there with confidence, with passion, with purpose. And a bonus, because those are the 5 tenets. Know yourself, speak your truth, listen with genuine curiosity, love and live in service. And number 5, find your purpose and don't hide it. I love these things. I love these core tenets, these core pillars for me and for this show. And thank you for making it this far into the show and listening. Now, what I want to share is a bonus thing here that we'll touch on from time to time, but is the opposite. And basically knowing who your enemies are and knowing that there's fear out there, a lot of it. There are things that are pushing agendas and pushing reasons to do certain things. And I'm speaking specifically to my personal villains and my personal mission to fight that, to fight evil, to fight fear, to fight things that are pushing agendas into the population, into the mindset, into the families, into the home. All these things, I want you to know, these are, over time, I will be sharing my thoughts without hesitation and political agendas. I am not a political person, nor do I like to even pay attention to those things, but they seep in. They seep in, and I will and have views and have shared those views on Entrepreneur Circle, as some of you know. But we're going to own those things if they come up and when I bring those things up. So there have been episodes where I've brought those things up, a segment that I call Burn or Bliss, and I'll ask some of my guests in rapid fire, what do you feel about AI? Or how do you feel about Trump? Or how do you feel about certain things that I know are heated topics? And not to just bring up a topic because it's topical, or that I want to create clips and sound bites, but it's truly like a way to have a real conversation and get to know someone on a deeper level so that we're not just skating across the surface of things. We're actually going deep. So that's the purpose of those segments. I'll see if it sticks. If you guys like it, please hit me up. If you like Burner Bliss, it probably won't show itself in an episode until about a dozen episodes. Sean and Lacey, Sean Dill and Lacey Book are the first ones that I actually exercise that new segment of the show. So let me know if you like it. But I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you, let you know that Be Your Brand is finally here, and we're going to be releasing all the episodes. So if you were a guest and you recorded on this episode, this show, Be Your Brand, thank you for your patience. And your episode will now air, even though it's many years later. But I am looking forward to Be Your Brand, to reaching a wider audience. And I'm hoping and praying that you continue this journey with me. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to this channel, please do so, because that support helps us grow and helps us to create more and more content delivered to you that hopefully changes your life and or adds value in your life. I am Erik, and I'll see you and talk to you in the next episode. Love you guys.